me to change, they want me to change, but I ain't changing, nah.
And you are now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio, brought to you in concert with A Beautiful Machine magazine, as well as the mighty Nerve DJs Radio Network. Y'all already know, man, week after week, day after day, year after year, we only rock with legends around here. And today is absolutely no fucking exception. We have author, producer, sync specialist. His music has been heard on Netflix, NBC, CBS. One of the greatest producers since the brother that produced for Beethoven and didn't get the credit. Okay, I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounded dope. Anyway, we got Mr. Anthony Clint Jr. joining the conversation. How you doing, King?
My guy, man. I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How's your family?
Oh, the fam is good, healthy, and no complaints, man. Blessed for sure.
Yo, so author, what book have you written or books?
Yes. So I am the author of the I Make Music Not Excuses journal for musicians. We launched, like right before the top of the year, and pretty much it's like a mindset journal for musicians who want to become the better version of themselves so that they can see the success that they want to see. And within 72 hours of launch, we became the book became a bestseller internationally in Germany, the United States, UK, Canada, and Sweden as well. So yeah, I Make Music Not Excuses on Amazon and I Make Music Not Excuses.com.
Sweden.
Yep.
So you're getting Swedes like hitting you up, like, you know, I don't know what the Swedish language is, if it's English or not, but you're getting people from Sweden hitting you up like, yo, I got questions.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of talented producers in Sweden. A few of them are inside my private community for producers, and yeah, no, like they obviously they live in Sweden, but they also speak English and make phenomenal music. Like, yeah, they're serious, man, for sure.
I want to say it's a dude from Sweden that did some shit for Bodie James, but I could be wrong.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay, so at what point do you decide I want to get into sync? And as a matter of fact, let me back up. What exactly is sync?
Yeah, so sync licensing is basically synchronizing music to picture. So that can be a TV show, it can be a movie, it can be a commercial, a video game. It can be honestly it can be a video like this on YouTube. So it's pretty much just licensing your music for the purpose of it supporting picture or anything moving, I guess.
Okay, and at what point do you decide, okay, you know what, this is a good hustle for me?
Yeah, so it took a while. So when I first started off as a producer, you know, my goal was to just be the next Dark Child, essentially, you know, produce for all the major artists and things like that. And I had a friend in college at The Ohio State University reach out to me. And
okay, hold on. Stop.
Yeah,
Boo! I had to do that, bro. I'm from Detroit.
Oh, I get it. My wife's fam is from Detroit.
I'm sorry. I don't have petty as fuck. I'm sorry.
Listen,
I got a lot of chicks that went to the University of Michigan. Shout out to my daughter.
That's hilarious. Listen, the boo was appropriate. I'm not mad at it. Okay.
That's the first time I booed anybody. For the record.
5 minutes into the show, we get booed.
Right.
Boo the guest because he's from Ohio.
I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
So I love it. So yeah, so he reaches out to me because at this time I'm a musician. I'm playing for a lot of different bands and things like that around the city. So he reaches out to me to just play keys on some of his productions for a publisher that he was linked up with for the purpose of getting it synced. And he was just kind of telling me about it. He was like, man, you should really look into it. It's a really dope lane. At the time, I still, it didn't click. I was just like, okay, cool. Like I just kind of kept it in the back of my mind. Fast forward a few years from when he initially told me, I was just like, you know what? Let me circle back around and and check out what he was talking about. And I started looking deeper into it. I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. So I could like send my music to a publisher, they'll send it to their clients, a TV show will license it, I'll get an upfront sync fee plus back end royalties, and every time the show airs, I'll continue to get paid royalties over and over and over again. I was just like, that's kind of dope. Do the work once and then continue to get paid for it. So at that point, man, I want to say, what was it, like 2008, 2009, I kind of set out to pursue that, and like nothing happened for a solid 7 years. Like I was just bumping my head, making mistakes, but eventually I cracked the code and figured out, how to structure my music, how to present it, how to prepare it and optimize it so that, the music supervisors and editors and things like that can use it. So I ended up landing my first placement, TV placement in 2013 on the NFL Network. I ended up making a little over $600 in royalties just from that one placement. And that's when it clicked. I was just like, okay, I want to focus and go all in on this. And then, I've been at it since.
So $600, that's all it took?
Yeah, like, this is the crazy part. So it aired on NFL Network, then it aired on Fox Sports. The crazy part is they only played it for like 15, 20 seconds. Right. So I was just like, okay, I spent maybe a couple hours working on this song. They used a few seconds. I got paid royalties. I got like a few different royalty checks from it, but I can still relicense it to other opportunities. So it can just continue to work for me over and over. In fact, that same track I'm about to pitch for some more sports stuff to just, try and get it relicensed. So yeah, really dope lane. And it's been one of the areas in music where it felt like my time was well spent doing it. I don't feel like, I'm just kind of wasting time creating music and it doesn't go anywhere. It just sits on my hard drive and nobody hears it. It gives, an outlet. So it's been really cool.
So when, let's say the NFL Network, when they decide they want to use your music, do they tell you sometimes you can't sell this to somebody else for like 3 months or 6 months, or you can just keep regurgitating it as much as you can make money off of it?
That's a good point. So that depends on the agreement with the publisher. So there's two types of deals. Usually you'll see an exclusive deal or a non-exclusive deal directly with the publisher. Exclusive meaning they will continue to pitch it for multiple opportunities, but I can't take that song and pitch it to another publisher.
Gotcha.
Right. And then non-exclusive, I can pitch it to other non-exclusive publishers. As far as exclusivity for the client, that's on a case-by-case basis. Usually you won't see exclusivity in terms of that track for a client unless it's like a competing brand for like an ad commercial campaign, right? So you're in Detroit, right? Ford, if I do a track for Ford, they don't want me to send that same track to Toyota. And you know what I'm saying? So, and it could be for the span of 6 months, a year, whatever the term is. So yeah, for sure.
So they're actually they specify we don't want a competitor, but let's say, I don't know, Baby Formula wants to use the same song. They don't care.
Yeah. That's no problem.
That's so petty.
It can't.
I know.
Because they're like, hey, if we think it's dope, we don't want the competition with the same vibe.
So do you get more money for exclusive as opposed to non-exclusive?
Yeah, it does affect the price, for sure. So if it's exclusive and then the term, all of those details affect how much you get. So the longer the term, the larger the territory, right? So if it's only a local commercial in the city versus a national or an international campaign, that budget will look different. So it just depends.
Biggest placement you've had so far?
Biggest one, man. I guess in terms of reach, keeping up with the Kardashians, a few placements throughout like multiple seasons. That was probably the furthest reaching one because the initial placements happened, man, 2015, something like that, 15, 16. I still get international royalties from it playing in the most random countries.
Yo,
Yeah.
I'm such a child. I'm sitting here thinking, like, I wonder who got a placement for the tape between Ray J.
Oh my goodness. He probably did his own music. You know, like it's Ray J. Like, you can't put anything past Ray J, man.
Actually, that would be a pretty fucking genius move, though.
Hey, it's sync. It's still sync.
What is the one thing that you see? You've been doing this for a while, and so I'm certain you see a lot of other people in the same lane. What's the biggest mistake most sync? I don't know. Is it sinkers? Like, I don't know what the plural is.
We're just producers, and you know, we just kind of pitch our music for sync, or I would consider myself like a sync producer. It's like the name of my community, Sync Producer Hub. So I consider myself a sync producer just because I specialize in that. So when I'm creating music, I'm approaching it from the mindset of I want this to get synced. But
biggest mistake you see other people do?
Yeah, biggest mistake that I see producers do, even artists or songwriters, is blindly submit, right? So they may find a company and they think, okay, all I need is the company name, who to pitch to, and then they just bomb them with like 25 tracks off rip, no introduction, just like fire emojis in the email, and then 25 tracks that are like living on SoundCloud. It's the biggest mistake because number one, they usually don't like music presented that way. And then I'll get into the second mistake that kind of ties into this biggest mistake. But they don't like to accept music that way. Usually they want some type of streaming link, something that's clean and organized. I use disco.ac for that. And then, you know, long introductions. Usually, again, they don't have time to read a life story and, you know, how you began music at the age of 3. And, you know, they don't want to hear that.
Play the fucking music.
See, exactly. Like, here's the music. Here's my name. Let me know if you can use it. And then that ties into the second mistake is people just submit anything, not knowing that music, when it comes to TV and film and video games, it has to serve a purpose and it has to give value to what's happening in the scene. So they don't want songs that's super personal, talking about, you know, your homeboy or like your personal relationship and you shouting out names and manager names and all of these tags in the track. They want to hear general broad subjects: love, heartbreak, being on top, being a winner, taking over, things like that can apply to a lot of different situations and isn't too specific to where it's useless. So those are like the top 2 biggest mistakes I see a lot of creators make.
So you're not just sending instrumentals, you're sending songs.
Both. Yep.
Okay, so is there, have you seen something and you thought, you know what, I need to be in this, and you made it happen?
Man, let's see. What's something I guess my wife watches a lot of like cooking shows on Netflix. So I was like, yo, I got to get on one of these shows. So while she's watching, I can be like, yo, that's my track. And the publishers help make that happen.
Okay.
So I've had some music on on a few, I forget the names of them, but a few Netflix cooking shows for sure. It was like, one was like a baking show, and then another one was just like a cooking show. So it's been a few of them. So yeah, it definitely made that happen.
How do you choose which? I mean, I know ASCAP and BMI, but how do you choose which publishing company to go to?
So BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, they're not publishers, which is a common misconception. They are performing rights organizations, right? So their role is anytime your music is aired and performed either publicly during like live performances or, TV broadcasts and things like that, they will collect those royalties for you and then pay them out. So that's their job. And then the publishers, let's take BMG Production Music, for example. Okay. They're kind of like a publisher / distributor, but they are the ones that basically manage the relationships with multiple supervisors, ad agencies, all of that stuff. So my job as a creative, if I have a publishing deal, all I have to do is reach out BMG, and this works both ways. Sometimes I can reach out with an idea for an album or a few songs or whatever, or they'll send us what's called briefs of what their clients need. And usually that's the way we kind of work. They'll send us briefs, we'll create to those briefs, submit it, they give us a yay or nay, and then once it gets placed and it airs, then that's when the BMI and the ASCAP and CSACs kick in, and then we start earning royalties from there.
So how specific are the briefs? Is it like a scene, or is it like, okay, this is what the show is about?
It can get super specific, and it can be super like not specific, where you're just like, yo, what do you want? But yeah, it can get specific all the way down to keywords, moods, a description of the scene, and what's happening in the scene. Sometimes they'll give you music that's currently in the scene, but it's too expensive to license. That's why they're reaching out to us so that we can create a replacement for it.
That's nasty work right there.
Yeah, hey, it's business, man. That, like, think about it. If Beyonce wants, I don't know, she probably wants like a lot of money. Like, let's say she wants $1 million for one of her tracks in a hair salon scene on a movie, right? And the budget for the movie is only $500,000. Like, they not about to pay for that. Damn. But they're like, hey, we do have $5,000 we can give to an independent creator that we can quickly license and clear, because we don't have to go through Beyonce's major publishers, and we can get quick clearance because that independent creator owns everything, or that independent publisher, can sign off with one signature, and we'll just kick them $5,000. Now, for an independent artist, like, how would $5,000 help you for just one placement, right? Like, we're not getting $1 million like Beyonce, but $5K, I'm gonna take the $5K. And that's how it kind of works, man, where if they don't have the large budget for the biggest artist, that's when we can kind of create something that's similar, have the same vibe, just a lower price tag, but it's mutually beneficial for us.
Can you take it back?
Can you take what back? Like the song?
Yeah. Can you say, yeah, you know what? I kind of was fucking with y'all. Yeah, I seen the movie. It's trash. I don't want to do that.
So technically, you could. I would not advise. Listen, you will burn bridges quickly. This is what I always tell producers inside of my community. I say, look, you don't make decisions quick. Think about it, and before you say yes or no, make sure that's going to be your answer, and then stand on that. Yeah. Because if you're flaky and you give it, you say, yeah, you sign it, and then you're like, oh, no, you can't do it, they're going to make a mental note. Don't work with that person because they're flaky, and you're just going to be labeled a flake, and then they're not going to rock with you. And that could hurt future opportunities. So I say, just think long and hard about it before you make your decision, and then just stand on whatever decision you make.
Who's the Dr. Dre of sync placements?
Shoot, Dr. Dre. he's still getting synced.
I can't imagine it. Like, I don't think is Dr. Dre sitting at home in front of the gazillion-dollar board making music specifically just for syncs?
No, Dr. Dre. I mean, I don't know what he's doing, if but like on the industry side, they're making records to make records, and then those records happen to land in sync and licensing. Then they see, oh shoot, this is where the money is for real. But you know what? I don't know, man. I think as a whole, and this is according to a study done by BMAT in conjunction with the Production Music Association, is the stats actually show that most of the music that is placed and used in broadcast is actually from independent creators, not the major artists.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, I can't pinpoint any particular individual, but I would say independent creators as a whole are like the Dr. Dre's of sync, because like we're just able to take advantage of those opportunities because we're independent and we can do it at a lower price.
So do you still produce just music to for artists?
Yeah.
What genre do you would you say your lane is?
My lane in terms of artists is more R&B. I've done R&B. I've done R&B, hip hop, done gospel, contemporary Christian, some jazz, smooth jazz stuff. But I would say the lane like of R&B is kind of where I live. That was actually my first opportunity to work with a major artist, which was what was that, about back 2010 2011. It was actually Music Soul Child.
Really?
Yeah. It was co-produced with me, my guy Scrap, Dwight Scrap Reynolds, and it didn't make the album. We got in at a time where music was fighting with his label. He was trying to change his sound and the label wasn't having it. It was like, no, bro, we want Music Soul Child, like that.
Yeah.
We've grown up on. And we gave him a Music Soul Child record, and we got caught in the middle of that battle. Ended up not happening. I don't even think that album, the album just never happened. And then he just kind of went on to just do whatever he wanted to do. But then after that, a couple years down the line, linked up with TC, Tyon Christian, and then we knocked out some records for Tamar Braxton, and then that ended up actually being my first few major placements with the R&B artist.
Did you get to meet Tamar?
I did not. She was literally, we were locked in the studio in New York recording her Christmas album while she was still out doing promo for Love and War. Like she was like doing interviews and all that stuff.
Oh, Tamar did a Christmas album?
Yep. Winter Lover's Land.
Why do artists still do? I don't get it. I mean, outside of the once in a generational Mariah Carey shit.
I think that's like, this is the thing with Christmas music. Excuse me, I'm still drinking my second cup of coffee. Christmas music comes back around every single year. So you have the potential to like create a body of work. Now, obviously, most don't reach Mariah Carey level, like at all. Like she's the GOAT when it comes to Christmas album. But it's an album that literally every year you can just re-promote and re-push, and then it just resurfaces. And
yeah, but it just reminds people it was trash the first time.
Maybe.
Like, generally speaking, like if your shit doesn't pop that first Christmas, your shit's never gonna pop.
I don't know, because I'll have to go back and look at the. Well, nah, Mariah Carey's she did good the first year. First year that album went crazy.
Look, bro, because Christmas, it's memories.
Yeah.
So if I remember that your album was trash when I was 6, it's still trash when I'm 16.
Yeah, but listen, this is the other side of it. Now that's the consumer side of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then let's look at the business and the licensing side of it. You got a Christmas song, Christmas opportunities for sync come around every single year.
Yeah.
So you can just continue to relicense those tracks. Even if they were trash to the general public, behind the scenes, they ended up in those Netflix and Hallmark Christmas movies with the same 2 actors and actresses in them.
Yo, the Hallmark is diabolical. These motherfuckers been making the same fucking movie.
The same movie.
And I've said this before, is some broke ass dude, white dude, that lives in buttfuck Iowa that makes crayons for a living, and some rich broad who makes $18 gazillion a year making fake eyelashes, falls in love with this dude and quits her job and goes and lives in a farm.
Well, okay, no, and then she leaves the city leaves the town to become successful. Then she comes back to visit for the holiday. Yeah. Then she falls in love with him and realizes that's the one she should have been with.
She realizes it, but she's got to go back to New York. and then when she gets to New York, she misses Chad so fucking much. She sells her penthouse and her Bentley and go.
Bruh, that's the whole movie. That's the formula.
Joe, there's a white couple. I don't know what their name is. I just seen it like maybe in the last couple of weeks, but they like recreate the Hallmark movies, and they're so fucking spot on.
That's hilarious.
It's just amazing. As a creative, is there a lane that you look at and you say, damn, I wish I was good in that?
Man, what's a shoot, singing? Like, I wish I was a better singer. No, like in terms of like music in the lanes, I would say, and it's something I've been practicing, that trailer music, because trailer music is a completely different, it's a different beast. It's a different structure. It's a different vibe. And I've done a couple collaborators with like trailer producers just to kind of, learn from, but that's a lane where I was like, okay,
what's the difference?
Oh man. So think about the big trailers you see when a movie's about to come. Let's think of like an action movie trailer, right?
Okay.
One of the major differences is the structure. So it's broken down into 3 acts. You have act 1, act 2, act 3. Usually right before act 1, you kind of have a little ding or something that just kind of introduces the trailer or the scene. And then during act 1, you may establish like the main idea, and then it's gradually building up through each act. So it's just like 3 acts, and then you have the end of it, and however long it needs to be depends on the trailer. But when it comes to regular music that's just being placed for sync, or even if you're composing a picture, usually it's just like basically almost regular song structure where you have quick intro, verse, hook. I usually don't put bridges in there, but verse, hook, and then an ending, and that's pretty much it. You can just get a regular song that can be synced in a show without really changing a whole lot. For example, just from artists we know, like you'll hear a song that Dr. Dre produced in TV and film, and it works, right? Even though it wasn't intended for TV originally. But trailer music is very, very intentional in setting the mood, building suspense, tension, and it's a lot of sound design that goes into it as well. So it's not just the music, but it's like sound effects, it's risers, it's big cinematic drums. And the first mistake I made when I tried to make some trailer music and pitch it, they was just like, bro, you need better sounds. Like they're thin. It was like, you need thicker sound, like just better sound effects. So
you need Dolby shit,
man. Like that, and just like it's very expensive sound design stuff. Like my stock sounds, or not even stock sounds, but the sounds that I had just for regular song production, it just wasn't cutting it. So yeah, that's a lane that is really, really cool.
Yeah, now that you say it, like when you act, I don't know how many people still go to the theater, but when you go to the theater and they're showing you the trailers for other movies, the different, it's like boom, as opposed to and then when you're watching the movie, you watch it, it's understated music.
Yep, exactly.
So how who mixes your music? Like how important is that person if it's not you?
Oh man, that's vital. I personally mix my own music, and I think a mix can make or break something. It can be the thing that stands between the decision of you getting the placement and the person next to you getting the placement. Like if their volume is like higher than yours and yours is just really low, it's just perceived as lower quality. So making sure you're mastering the volume to broadcast standard or whatever, and then making sure there aren't sounds that are just glaring out and just piercing your ears, and certain frequencies are just annoying. Making sure drums are sitting where they need to sit. So yeah, like the mix is everything. Mix is important. Now the funny thing about that is when you're pitching your music, you're trying to get it signed and things like that, they're going to critique you on all this stuff, volume, mixing, all of this stuff. But then they place it and they turn your stuff down to volume level 2 and you can barely hear it. So you're just like, well, what's the point of all those edits we had to make? But
I get the point though, because I'm a loud listener. So if I'm at home and I'm watching Netflix or whatever, I got the shit on 50. I'm fucking old, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't turn it all the way up.
Yeah.
But and some people have it on 12.
Facts.
So whatever you're making has to be able to stand that increase. And so I guess the way they're saying it, I need to be able to push it to 100 and it sound great, just in case.
Yeah. Good point.
So, and this is a question I ask everybody. It has nothing to do with nothing. I ask everybody that comes on the show. So you're sitting on a park bench and God sits down next to you and he or she says you can ask them one question. What would it be?
One question. Shoot. Will you say well done? That'll be my question. I just want to make sure when I leave this earth that, I made an impact, and that, I did it in a way that served others and pleased God at the end of the day. So
what grade would you give your life so far?
I got to grade myself. Man, right now I'm gonna give it A. I'm gonna give it an A, man.
Really?
I'm gonna give it an A, and the reason why is because, man, anything that I've wanted to do, I'll just do it. I'll just do it, and throughout the entire journey, even my career, I always made sure and make sure, I reach back and share what I learned and share the information for the next person coming up or the next generation, to help them as well. And I think a large part of what I do is just give value to others, and not just contain all this stuff, right? And just like, oh, okay, I learned this, I'm gonna just keep it, or I did this, I know how to do it, but I'm not gonna share it with nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like every time I accomplish something, I'm gonna figure out how to do it, and then I'm gonna go share it, and then after that, just making sure I'm taking care of my family, make sure I'm a good husband, a good father. Right now, as it stands, my wife and my kids rock with me, so I think I'm doing a good job. So.
Biggest surprise as a father?
Oh man, biggest surprise. What was the biggest surprise? I think the biggest surprise is that in being a father, you start to learn not only more about the kid growing up and just going through different experiences, but you start to learn more about yourself. I think that was like the biggest surprise. And then you realize at like what gear you can really go to. Like it wasn't until I have 3 kids. I'm a father of 3, 2 boys and a girl. I didn't realize how much time I had prior to having kids and how much I could really, really do now that I have kids until I had kids, man. Like in terms of just, productivity, focus, getting things done with very, very limited time, especially when each of them were born. That was surprising to me. Like you figure a way to make things happen. And then you become what I like to say is I start to become allergic to excuses, especially from producers and music creators who don't have kids or don't have families or relationships or whatever. It's just like,
Is that unfair to them though? Because I think all of us as parents kind of we're slightly snobs to those people that don't,
because they don't know.
Like, how could you be broke and you don't have any kids?
Yeah, I won't say it's unfair. I will say, once you're made aware, like if I'm talking to someone and they don't have kids, now my job is to say, okay, I see you're using this as an excuse, but let me talk to you as if I'm future you and you now have an entire family, right? You can do more than what you think you can do. You just don't know it yet because you haven't experienced that yet. But now and then I feel like now once you're made aware, at that point it's up to you to kind of take responsibility and go all in while you have the chance. And then some of them still don't get it. They're just like,
they don't want to hear that shit.
Exactly.
I will say for me, I think I learned the most actually about my mother when I became a parent. Because shit start connecting.
Yep, I get it. And
I start understanding that she wasn't really the biggest asshole on the planet and she should not have been hit by a Mack truck. She just had fucking kids and we get on her fucking nerves sometimes.
Oh man.
Like you really don't get your parents until you become one.
No, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. I have called my mom multiple times. Like, you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that part.
I'm sorry. I called your name a million times in 30 minutes and didn't want anything. I'm so sorry.
I called you at work for some fucking ice cream 6 times. I'm sorry.
Just apologizing. Like, yeah, this part of my 30s have been like calling my parents, like, you know what? I'm sorry, and I appreciate everything you did when I was a kid.
Yo, wait till you get grandkids.
Man, that's the next level.
That is payback.
Oh man,
like that's when you see your kids deal with them, and you get to laugh at their ass. Like I'm sitting there, I remember one time I FaceTiming my youngest daughter, and my granddaughter just slaps the dog shit out of her.
Oh my goodness!
Still brings me joy. and my daughter just ate it.
Yeah.
Like she knew. I could see in that moment that if she had done something, I might have had to bail her out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, that was
it was the realization that, you know what? That's me. I can't even be mad.
Yo, that shit. I said, I might have to call her after the show just to remind her. I wish I had recorded that shit because oh my God. Yeah. Okay, so what's the biggest question people ask you about sync placements?
Who do I pitch my music to? It's the biggest question. Like, who do you like? People know, like people know it's a thing. Like they hear the music on shows all the time, but nobody knows who to reach out to. Because you can't just call up CBS, you can't call up NBC, you can't call up Netflix. Well, you can call up Netflix, but you won't get far if you're trying to place your music.
You can call up Netflix?
I'm sure Netflix has some type of number, some customers. They have to have some type of something. Yeah, customer service at least. I imagine.
I just thought they had a bill department.
They definitely have that.
They definitely got that part
Definitely
down back.
that was the first department they established. But so yeah, so that's the biggest question, and the answer to that question is there's a few different lanes, right? So you can go for the publishers, like we mentioned earlier, who specialize in music for media. It's not every publisher, right? Sony, like Sony is Sony ATV or whatever, major publisher, or Warner Music, Warner Chappell, whatever, major publisher, but they don't necessarily specialize in music. They have specific branches that specialize in that. So Warner Chappell has Warner Chappell production music, right? Same with Universal. There's Universal music, and then there's Universal production music. Universal production music specializes in music for media. Then you have at the independent level publishers like let's say Smash Coast Music, right? They're an independent boutique like licensing company where they specialize in music for media. They're not just publishing any artist that wants to be signed to them. They're looking specifically for music that will be functional for media. So those are the types of publishers you want to look for. Or you'll also hear sync licensing companies, or music libraries is another term. So that's one way. Second way is reaching out to what's called a music supervisor, right? That's the person that just kind of oversees the music that's being used, along with a team of other professionals. But music supervisor is another one that people tend to target. And then the third one is occasionally you can come across a sync agent, and that person just helps you secure syncs based off of the relationships that they have, either with music publishers or music supervisors. Usually it's music supervisors directly, and then like, ad agencies and stuff.
Is there sync placements for random acapella conversations?
Just conversation?
Yeah. Like, can I get paid just for talking shit?
No, I haven't seen an opportunity like that. And the reason why probably is because usually with sync, they're looking for something to go under conversation. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't put like a conversation under a conversation. And if they needed a conversation, they would probably just film it. And then it's just that.
Yep. I'm trying, bro. I need a couple of dollars, man. It's hard out here, bro. I got absolutely no musical talent to speak of.
Just tried to break in by talking.
I'm trying out here. Yo, so you got a plaque behind you. What is that from?
So let's see. This one is Tamar Braxton's Christmas album. Debuted. Who was that? Number 7 or 8 on the holiday charts. I think it was 8 on the holiday charts. Hip hop R&B holiday. And then this one over here, which is Billboard charts. And then this one over here is actually one made specifically for my TV placement mastery program. So it's the 100X TV placement plaque, and that is if a producer that goes through this program lands 100 TV placements within a year, that's what they get. So that's that one.
Yo, so you've had 100 in a year?
Yeah, yeah, definitely over 100 at this point. But yeah,
you're just showing off, bro.
Hey man,
definitely over 100. Just to say.
I'm just the music is working for him. It's the system, stuff is getting played right now.
So how many hours do you give to this a day?
So the day depends, as I kind of do different things on different days, right? Because some days may be dedicated to creating the music, some days may be dedicated to reaching out to companies and things like that, mixing, right? So I do this full time, so I'm at least putting in 6 to 8 hours a day, just around sync licensing, and then just depending on what the day is, I could be mixing projects, I could be writing, could some days I'm just taking meetings, going out to lunch with a publisher or a supervisor or agent or something like that. So it just depends day to day.
So were you doing this when you and your wife met?
Yes, I've been
Like full time.
no, yes and no. So when this will be a good story. So when my wife and I met, did I graduate college? It was like right before I graduated college. So we were friends, like it was nothing romantic at all. Then I made the decision that I was going to move from, at the time I was at Columbus, Ohio, because I was in school. So I was either going to move to LA or Atlanta. Ended up settling on Atlanta. So I was getting ready to move, and then we started to become closer. She would come down and visit. So we kind of stayed in touch, and then we ended up we ended up becoming serious. It was random as heck because I was not looking for a relationship at that time. So we got close, and then at that time I was in Atlanta. I was doing music full time. I was a musician. So just playing, doing gigs and things like that. And that was it. And then little part-time stuff here and there. And then right before we got married, I made a decision. I was like, okay, I want to get married. I want to start a family. Even though I'm doing music full time, I'm not making enough to support a family. Right. I'm cool just by myself, but that's different, right? So I was just like, I'll pick up a job, do what I got to do the music at night, whatever. And in between that was around the time I did I landed the Tamar Braxton placements. So that actually put some extra money in my pocket to where I didn't have to go back to work full time. So I was able to work part time.
Damn, Tamar was paying like that?
Yeah, well, I landed like 4 on the album. So
Dude.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Shout out to Tamar.
Yeah. And Epic, shout out to Epic Records. But so I was just like, okay, cool. So I got this. I'll just like eat off of that. That'll kind of be like part of my income, and then everything that I'm doing on the side, that's that. And that allowed me to leverage that extra time that I had to continue to work on my music career and build my brand as a producer and things like that. So I did that, and then then the placement money ran out, and I was like, okay, bet, now I got to get a full-time job. So then I got into IT, worked in the IT for, man, I think it was probably like 7 years, and then during that time I was still building, right? So shout out to the wife, like she would just go to bed and like it was just by herself, and I was just in the studio while she was asleep, and I would just work from like when would I go from like either 9 to 10 to like 2 a.m. and I would do that like every day.
Yo.
Yeah. And then just get up for work at 7 and do what I had to do during the day, and then come home, take a nap, catch up with her, eat dinner, boom, rinse and repeat. So I just kept doing that for like 7 years. And then eventually I got to a point to where my music production business was doing around the same as what I was doing on my day job. And then the day job started to get in the way, because now I'm like, now I don't have enough time to take on these opportunities. Now I'm passing up stuff. So I'm like, eventually I'm gonna have to make the leap. At first it was her, like she was able to come home and just be with the kids, and then I just kept working. And then things shifted again. And then I decided to just jump ship and then just go all in on music again. And I've been doing it since.
Okay, what was that conversation like?
Man, a lot of preparation. So, so basically she was at home with the kid all day. I think we just had the one. Yeah, we just had the one. And she was she was exhausted because she also had started her own business around this time, like the first business she had started. So she was just trying to balance all this, and then we was just like, yo, like something has to give,
right?
Because the job that I had at the time, I was putting in a lot of overtime because we were doing like a lot of big installs, IT installs for like medical practices and things like that. So it was like a lot of like getting there early, then staying home late. And then we was like, yo, something has to change. I was like, okay, look, this is where I am now. I was just like, I know if I get more of my time back, I can like I can crush it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can really go all in, and we'll be good. So what we did is we mapped out a plan. Like I had a had a whiteboard and sheets of paper and everything. So I just mapped out like any debt, like anything we had like payments on, what can we pay off, right, with the money that I'm making from music. And we just wanted to clear off any extra expenses we could before I made the leap. We wanted to make sure we had at least like 6 months of expenses saved up, and just kind of give ourselves a cushion. So that's what we did. So I stayed for maybe, I don't know, it's maybe like a couple more months or whatever. And then she was just like, all right, bet, like, do it. And it was like at a time where I had to make a decision before I had to do the next enrollment and benefits and stuff with the company. So they were like, it was crazy because it was the day I was going to tell my supervisor. And they were bugging me, bro, because they were getting the whole team new t-shirts, right? So
they bugging you for a fucking t-shirt,
bro. So I'm on a call on site in the field, and like supervisor, like they escalated it to like the guy above my supervisor. He's like, yo, we're trying to get the orders in on these shirts. So I was just like, actually, you can hold my order, because actually I was going to tell you as soon as I got back to the office that today's my last day. Or this week. It was the rest, the end of the week. And so we had to have that conversation. They were trying to negotiate me to stay. I was just like, nah, I gotta go. So yeah,
shout out to your wife.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Like that you I know you know how lucky you are in that aspect, because there's so many marriages that, and I won't even say marriages, but the goals don't align. And not even the goals, but the process to accomplish those goals don't align.
Yeah, that's crucial. We were talking about that.
I was with somebody who was very driven, and I'm not that driven.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say I'm not that driven, but I don't need a big house.
Yeah.
I don't really care about a big car.
Yep.
Do you love me?
Yeah.
And some people need the big car and the big house.
Yep.
But to get those things, you got to sacrifice some shit.
You do. 100%.
And either way, I'm not saying that either way is right or wrong, but you have to find somebody that is in the lane, not just in the lane with you, but in the car with you.
Yeah. I think, the understanding, like, even if you both don't want the same thing, having a mutual understanding of, I understand this is what you want, and I understand you're okay if you don't have this, and then being able to move in harmony.
Yes.
That's everything, man. Because I wouldn't be able to do what I do at the level I do it without her support. 100%.
I'm gonna send you a clip of you saying that so you can get a little brownie points.
Appreciate that. Valentine's Day's coming up.
Right.
I need to send me that clip.
Yo, is there anything, if people want to get in contact with you, they want to learn from you, they want to, you teach a class, correct?
I don't teach a
Well,
class,
you
but
have
I have a community. Yeah,
right.
community for
If they
producers.
want to join the community, they want to get in touch with you, or they want to purchase some of your music for sync placements.
Yeah.
How do they get in touch with you?
Yep. ClintProductions.com is the website. You can follow me on Instagram at Clint Music, CLINT Music. Yeah, those are like the places where I'm hanging out most. Even it's Clint Music everywhere on all platforms. And then SyncProducerHub.com is where I'm hanging out with the producers who want to learn how to get their music placed in TV and film.
There was a certain last question before we go.
Mhm.
You mentioned the format that you send your music to.
Mhm.
How did you choose that particular format?
Through trial and error, like in terms of how to structure the music. I had I was working on some music that ended up getting placed on the show called Flex and Shanice. And the supervisor for that show, he had gave me pointers because this was like one of the first licensing deals I had. He was just like, yo, these songs are pretty long. You can take out the bridge, make the intro shorter. And then he was like, it needs a what we call a sting ending. So I had the tracks fading out because I was like, doing old school R&B music that faded out. And so he was like, take that fade off, put a sting ending so that it ends just on the one. And then he was just like, you'll be good. So I made those edits. And then I got the placements and I was like, oh, bet, like that worked. So I'm going to keep doing what worked. And then I've just been sticking with that
Who was
structure.
that guy?
Man, what was his name?
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I know.
This nigga should be on the wall behind you, bro.
I keep wanting to say,
shout out to that brother.
I forget, but yeah, shout out to him. I know the company, it was Urban Twist Music at the time. I don't know if it's still there, but yeah, shout out to them, man.
Appreciate it. Shout out to Flex. Yo, Flex went through some shit.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, him and his wife, yeah, they went through some shit. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Shout out to her for having his back. Yo, yes.
Yep.
You invaluable. Anyway, I truly appreciate your time, your energy, and your wisdom.
Thank you.
If there's anything I can do for you, and yeah, yo, if you just need some random talking dude in the background or some shit, please, bro, I got you.
I know you gonna be the go-to guy. It's like I know exactly who could do some background talk. I got you.
Yo, on that note, man, you have a phenomenal evening on purpose.
Thank you, bro.
And thank your family for loaning you to us for an hour. Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely, man. You too. Peace.
Peace. Yo, y'all already know, man. This is Jobs. This has been another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio. Shout out to Anthony Clint Jr. Yo, man, y'all have a dope ass fucking evening, man. And happy birthday to me. While I'm at it, I've asked my mother, and rest in peace, Mom. I've asked her a lot of things about growing up and how she felt about things. One thing I never asked her was how she felt the day before I was born. And that's a question that I wish I had have asked her. But yo, 54 years. I didn't think I would make it past 25. And unfortunately, a lot of our community, especially young Black men, think that way. And we don't plan on making it past 25. And then we turn 40. And we have failed to plan to get to 40. So if you're listening out there, you're a young man, plan to make it to 100. You can do it. God loves you, and so do I. Peace.